Hello and welcome back. My name is Gaurav and welcome to the Engineer YouTuber. So I'm your host and दोस्त. So आपको कुछ भी information चाहिए related to job openings, related to data science questions and answers. So I have created one new playlist where I upload a video on interview questions. So previously I uploaded questions or not the questions only. So I have attempt and I have given the tiger analyst uh, interview and I have uploaded questions on it. I have given the Wipro interview and some of the company I have cracked, some of not, but I have written all the questions which asked in the first, second, and third round throughout the interview. So I mostly upload those questions, and even though I went through a different websites and gather some information what kind of questions they ask. So usually I prepare like this and I'm sharing my interview experience as well as the questions asked and what questions I have prepared. So I create a very uh, important question play bank here. And so let's get started. Today's uh, interview questions is on the Infosys. And so first of all, if you are preparing or if you are uh, आप अभी फ़िलहाल इंटरव्यू दे रहे हो तो हाउ कैन यू स्टार्ट डिगिंग आउट व्हाट आर वेयर आई कैन आप गिव द इंटरव्यू. सो जैसे कि मैंने अभी इन्फोसिस में कुछ न्यूज़ देखी थी और मैंने उनकी ओपनिंग्स में जाके देखा करियर पोर्टल में. आई हैव जस्ट सिलेक्टेड इंडिया एंड मैंने मेरे क्रीडेंशियल से लॉगिन कर लिया. क्रीडेंशियल इज़ नथिंग बट अपने जीमेल अकाउंट को लॉगिन कर लिया. एंड उस पर मैंने जो रोल के लिए मैं अप्लाई करने वाला हूँ, जैसे कि मैं एक डेटा साइंटिस्ट हूँ, जनरेटिव एआई इंजीनियर हूँ या एआई इंजीनियर हूँ. नाउ दिस टाइप ऑफ profiles comes when you have experience or your you work on different technologies, generative AI, machine learning, or AI engineer or a product engineer. This type of profiles comes through a lot of experience. So first thing first, so if you are preparing for data science or AI engineer, just upload a skill set or role name and the location. If it is specifically you are looking for this region like Maharashtra or you are looking in the Karnataka, specify there. If you are open to relocate from one place to another, it is not necessary to mention. And some positions are open for pan India or they have multiple openings, so you can uh, check out that section also. And you need to mention the skill set, so technology like machine learning, Python, data science, generative AI. And if you click on experience over here, you will see a lot of openings are there. So for this is AI automation program. They require machine learning, Python technology, machine learning, TensorFlow. So these are the skill set they are looking for, and the work experience is of 5 year to 10 year. So they have mentioned there. Now this is a opening in the Bangalore Infosys, and with the Python with generative AI experience is not very high, like 2 year to 4 years. And the skill set and technology they are looking for someone who has machine learning and Python. So that is the thing. So if you go through, there are multiple openings are open in Infosys. If you are preparing for that, you can watch this full video. I'm going to upload a basic question as well as advanced question. And if you need a Python related question which asks specifically in the Infosys, you can comment down below. I'll send through a mail, or I can create a one playlist or a video on it. Right now we have and recently Infosys um have not collaborated, or they and Entropy have started working together. So I think in the future they will have more openings in the machine learning, data science, and generative AI. And I think it is a good start to work with Infosys. So let's get started. This is my LinkedIn page. You can follow me here. I upload openings and data science related stuff. This is my channel called Gaurav Chodia. Previously, it is known as Engineer YouTuber. Now I have changed to my name, and yeah, I create videos. Previously, I uploaded videos on Wipro and Tiger Analysis. You can go and watch their interview experience, as well as I have created a multiple topic related to ML and AI. So you can go follow me, subscribe me, and get access. So now start getting started with Infosys Data Science AI Engineer questions. This is a question banks. This is very basic. If you are prepare with this, I can assure you you will get at least a 60% of question from this question bank. But also, if you have a hypothetical knowledge that interviewer asking, and that hypothesis knowledge will you will get by experience. So yeah, you can prepare this question bank. Also read some articles around data science. Let's get started. I'll just zoom in this and we are good to go. So let's get started. So um, for Infosys, उनकी इंटरव्यू प्रोसेस होती है 5 राउंड की, or it depend on the profile. So if it is a senior, it might be a multiple round. Company client round will be also there. So first one is a online assessment. It depend on again the profile to profile. There will be a SQL question, Python, NumPy, and Pandas related question, ML, machine learning related questions, MCQ questions, and aptitude. This is a basic question list you will get into online assessment. Now, a technical round one, technical round two. Then we have. Just give me a second. I don't know how to pause this, but let me try. How can I pause? Otherwise, how can I pause this? If I click over here, will that stop? Yes. So they have interview process of 5 round. One is online assessment, technical round one, technical round two, managerial round, and HR round. So first 3 round are very important. First 2 round are very important. After that, managerial round, they may ask you the repeated question or the project related stuff, and after that you have a HR round where the salary and the culture fit, all the things go around. But these 3 round are very important. So first round will be asking on the ML algorithm, deep learning, and Python code. So you should be prepare a Python code. You can use the lead code. They have a good uh, list of codings over there. You can attempt that. Then you have advanced ML, case studies, project discussion. As I mentioned, hypothetical questions. And after that, you have a managerial round where you discuss the project scenario, what are the projects you have completed, and question around that, and problem solving. So let's get started. Machine learning questions. So explain the XGBoost and how does it split feature internally, or right? So this is the question. We'll start. Okay. The question is, XGBoost is a gradient booster decision tree ensemble. So it is an ensemble learning method, and it is basically based on gradient boosting, and it is from decision tree. It split feature it split feature by maximizing gain, reduction in loss using a greedy algorithm with 10 to 20 feature. It evaluate all the feature split combination and pick the one of the highest gain. So अभी you may have a question कि ये gain कैसे हम पता करें. So to get that gain, we have a formula. We need to uh, get that formula. For that we have importance is there, then the Gini index for splitting. There are some entropy and all those uh, 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 formulas to get the this gain, and after that we'll get the highest gain, we'll split on that. And the it also use the regularization techniques called L1 and L2 to prevent the overfitting, and also support approximate tree learning with histogram for efficiency. So basically, it is not it is a one type of pruning. It is not using the expandation of a tree, and it uses the regularization technique to prevent the overfitting. So it is a internally adjusting those uh, parameter L1 and L2. We don't need to give specifically to handle those overfitting over here. That is the reason XGBoost is extremely used when we talk about machine learning. We have a complex data, we just go to XGBoost and it work very fluently. So next question is, what is overfitting and how do you handle it? So overfitting is when model perform well on the training data but poorly on unseen data. And solution is use regularization technique L1 and L2. Reduce model complexity, apply cross validation, use dropout for neural nets, increase learning data, or apply early stopping. These are the techniques we use to reduce the overfitting. And overfitting is nothing but your model is trained on that data. So specifically you split the data, training data and testing data. You have given the training data, for example 80%, and 20% is the testing data. So on the training data your model is trained, so it know every single noise, every single data bits to that model. But when it comes to the new data, that model don't know. Sometimes that model is not able to handle those that data, and it gives the it is not performing well on that data. So that means it is overfit on the data. And how can we reduce this? These are the solution. So next question is, what is regularization and why do we use it? Regularization add a penalty term to the loss function to prevent a large coefficient. L1 lasso can be zero out feature selection, and L2 reach shrink weights but retain all feature. Elastic net combine both of them. So there are three techniques, more than that, but these are the three techniques which are basically used as a regularization technique to overcome the overfitting. One is lasso L1, reach L2, and elastic net. It is a combination of L1 and L2. So yeah, what is the difference between the classification and regression? So classification predict the discrete label like spam, not spam, 1, 2, uh, digital, not digital, and regression predict continuous value, house price, sale of the month, or the marks out of 1,000. So logistic regression used for classification, and linear regression used for regression task. Which model, which algorithm is best for classification depend on the context. Logistic regression for linear separatable data, random forest or XGBoost for tabular data, SVM for high dimensional data. That means you have 100 200 dimensionality features and you want to build a model. SVM is one of the good source, but again in the high dimensional you are not able to see that. That is a one drawback. Neural network for image and text. So yeah, now next question is, what matrix is used to evaluate a regression model? So this is one of the important question which is mostly asked in every single interview, not only in the Infosys, any interview. So mean absolute error, mean square error, root mean square error, and R2 score. MEE, mean absolute error, is the most interpretable, and root means square error is penalize large error more. So these are the matrix when we develop the regression model. Yeah. What is the feature engineering? The process of creating a transforming input variable to improve model performance include encoding categoricals, create interact interactional features, binning, log transform. So basically, feature engineering is nothing but transforming raw data into the good structure and finalized data that can model be use. एंड जितना आपका फीचर इंजीनियरिंग तगड़ा रहेगा, अच्छा रहेगा, उतना ही आपका मॉडल बेटर वर्क करेगा. अदरवाइज इट मे गिव द बायस. ओके. So, and these are the techniques we can include. Now, what is hyperparameter tuning? The process of finding the optimal model configuration value. Okay, and methods are grid search, random search, and Bayesian optimization. So basically, hyperparameter are the parameter which we pass into the model. So जो मॉडल को हम पैरामीटर्स देते हैं उसको हम हाइपर पैरामीटर बोलते हैं. एंड टू गेट द बेस्ट hyper parameter, we have a techniques called search, grid search, random search, and Bayesian optimization. Okay, what is bias variant trade-off? High bias is equal to underfitting. Model is very simple, and high variance means overfitting. Model is too complex. Goal is to find the balance between them. Low bias, low variance, and we are not going to get that because जितना हम दोनों को, they are vice versa, we cannot get both of them, but what we can do, we can get the balance of it. So for example, lowering the bias as well as lowering the variance is the optimum point where we get the balance of out of it. Embedding method like bagging reduce the variance and boosting reduce the biases. That is why XGBoost is one of the best model, we can say that. Now, deep learning question, they may ask you a deep learning related question and depend on your positions. So explain the transformer architecture. So transformer is used in deep learning, generative AI. This is the backbone of every single deep learning model and the generative AI model which we use. Okay, so transformer use self attention mechanism instead of recurrence. Recurrence में क्या होता था, we have to pass it every single word to the up current word, and because of that the computational power is very complex, and it is high, taking a very high time to get the next word, to predict next word. That is why we use the self attention mechanism, and this is one of the advantage of it. Key component is multi-head attention, positional encoding, encoder decoder structure, feed forward layer used in the BART and GPT. Okay. Now next is what is attention mechanism? Attention allow the model to focus on relevant part of input when making the prediction. It compute a weight sum of value based on the similarity between the query and the key vector. Basically, जब हम एक वर्ड लेते, फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक सेंटेंस लेते, द कैट sat on a mat. So there are some words which have the higher value and some words which don't have a meaning over there. For example, the have less meaning over there, and cat have a high value, then the mat have the high value. So these are the way words which are a attention mechanism should be focused on while predicting the next word. Okay, what is the BART? BART is the bidirectional encoder representation from the transformer model, pre-trained on the mask language modeling and next sentence prediction. Use only the encoder part of the transformer, fine tuning for NLP task. Okay, so BART एक मॉडल है जो हम यूज़ करते, and that is behind that we have used the transformer model. Okay, why do we use a softmax in the output layer? Softmax convert raw logics into probability that sum to 1, use in a multi-class classification, so the model output interpretable class probability. So for example, we have a 1 and 2, these are the two classification, or yes or no, then that time we use the symbioid, because we know if 0.5 के ऊपर चला जाए तो we'll predict as a 1, and 0.5 के नीचे आ जाए तो we predict as a 0 or yes or no. But when we have a multi classifications, for example 1 2 3 summer, winter, and a rainy season, that time we cannot use the sigmoid function. So that time we use the uh, soft max, and it is one of the classification uh, activation functions at the output layer for deep learning when we have a multi class type classification model. What is the difference between the encoder and decoder in transformer? So encoder map input to the contextual representation, and decoder generate the output token using the encoder output and previous generator token. BART use only encoder, GPT use only decoder, B5 BART use both. So some some model use only encoder as a uh, uh, in in the model. Some model use decoder in the model, some use both of them. So depend on the models they have used. एंड इनकोडर का काम होता है कॉन्टेक्चुअल को रिप्रेजेंट करना. सो कॉन्टेक्स्ट को रिप्रेजेंट करना मतलब उस सेंटेंस में से उस मीनिंग को निकाल के देना. एंड डिकोडर इज टू जनरेट द नेक्स्ट प्रिडिक्टेड वर्ड. जैसे कि चैट जीपीटी हम जैसे कुछ इनपुट देते तो इट इज प्रिडिक्टिंग वर्ड बाय वर्ड. हु इज द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया? द प्राइम मिनिस्टर वो नेक्स्ट वर्ड को भी प्रिडिक्ट करता है. द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया इज मोदी. तो ये प्रिडिक्शन कहाँ से आता है? वो टेक लेता है डेटा कहाँ से, जहाँ पे गूगल पे या जहाँ पे भी डेटा पड़ा हो इंसाइक्लोपीडिया पे या जो भी उस पर ट्रेन किया है उसमें से वो एक एक डेटा लेता है, उसको एक एक डेटा को प्रिडिक्ट करता है, एक एक वर्ड को प्रिडिक्ट करता है. दिस इज हाउ इट वर्क्स. तो डिकोडर का काम क्या है? जनरेट द नेक्स्ट टोकन यूजिंग द इनकोडर आउटपुट एंड द प्रीवियस जनरेटर टोकन. जो प्रीवियस द के बाद क्या आएगा अगेन, दैट इज ट्राइंग टू प्रिडिक्ट दैट, एंड दैट इज हाउ इट वर्क्स. नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज डिपेंड ऑन द पाइथन एंड pandas question. How do you handle missing value in the python? So these are the techniques we use to handle the missing value. First of all, we try to get the where are those missing value and how do we get that. So df dot is null dot sum will get a uh, uh, the count of null value and every single feature. Okay, and df dot description will give you the feature, their null values, and how many null values are there, and total value or row count. So you can get the null value. Now you want to handle those, you want to know how can I remove those or how can I handle them. So you can use df dot fill na, and fill na we are filling, you can fill the 0 if it is less, and I'm not going to cover everything here because I'm just going to talk about what we can do. So we are just putting here a df dot mean. So we are just putting the mean value of that, fill with the mean, and you can use df dot drop na. So we are just dropping those value wherever we have na value. Drop rows, we can drop the rows depend on the situation. So again ये टॉपिक ऐसा है कि इसके लिए हमें एक प्रॉपर वीडियो बनाना पड़ेगा. वी कैन नॉट टॉक अबाउट इट. समटाइम वी कैन रिमूव द entire row, sometime we can remove the specific column from that feature, or sometime we remove with the feed forward technique. There are mean median technique for numerical, mode for categorical, or use the model based imputation like knn, mic. These are the technique we can use. Okay, we can remove as well as we can drop that. Okay, now next question is what is difference between the LOC and ILOC. So LOC is a label based indexing and ILOC is a integer position based indexing. So we are just doing the indexing by using this two technique. How do you handle the outlier? Detecting using the IQR method. Interquartile range is IQR that you need to go and search what is IQR, and इसके पीछे भी it is one of the important topic. How do you handle that? Z और Z score. Now Z score भी कैसे निकालते हैं? These are the statistic technique and this is the one of the technique we can use. तो एक लेवल के ऊपर और एक लेवल, one is the highest level and one is the lowest level. उसके ऊपर का and उसके नीचे का we called is the outlier. So by using the IQR method you can find that. And once you get the outlier, how can you handle that? Handling by capping that. हम कैप कर सकते हैं कि इसके ऊपर के और इसके नीचे को हम एक स्पेसिफिक वैल्यू से रिप्लेस कर देंगे. देन वी यूज द लॉक ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन और रिमूव इफ एरर, कुछ एरर जैसे होगा तो विल जस्ट रिमूव देम बिकॉज सम टाइम व्हाट हैपन, जैसे कि हम एक फॉर्म भरते हैं और वहाँ पे हमें फ़ोन नंबर लिखने बोला है, तो वी हैव जस्ट पुट अ रैंडम नंबर ओवर देयर and that random number is alphanumerical, so it is not fit for the number, so we can just remove that. That is an error just by the user, or using the robust method like a tree based method. So there are different methods we can use. Now SQL questions, so you should be prepare SQL questions because these are the three which are important, but you should prepare more than that. As I mentioned, go to the lead code and you will get a very high quality question. You should be prepared. Now SQL question, write a query to find the second highest salary. So it is one of the highly asked question, and whenever I take the interview, जब मैं interview लेता हूँ तो I must ask this. So every engineer have a different query writing a skill. You can write it in one single sentence, you can use the a very advanced method. You should have a different three methods. Sometimes the interviewer asks you to write in the three different way, so you should be prepared with that. It is one of the important question. Okay, select max salary, so maximum salary from the employee where the salary is greater than the select max salary. It is a inner query, so outer query, and this is the one of the thing. So from that we are just using the second, or you can use the dense rank. As I mentioned, you can use the dense rank. Select salary from the select salary dense rank or the order by salary in descending order, we as a rank from the employee, and we where rank is equal to 2, so we'll get the second highest salary. You can use the both of them and you can just give the answer. What is the difference between the CTE and subquery, and which do you prefer? So CTE is the common table expression, is more like a readable, reusable within the same query and easier to debug. Subquery is inline for a complex logic. CTE is a preferable. मैं भी CTE यूज़ करता हूँ. जैसे कि मुझे कुछ एक टेबल बनाना है and that table or that query I'm using is a sub query, not a sub query, but I'm just, मेरे पास बहुत बड़ा डेटा है, उसमें से मुझे कुछ कॉलम चाहिए, and that column I have to run some window function, some other logic. I can just write the CTE and write my logic over there. So this is how you prepare. Now what is a window function? Performance calculation across a set of row related to current row using a collapsing them, or rank, row number, lag, sum over a partition by. This is the window function. So window function are one of the important topic. You should go and read about it. Uh, some of the questions come around it. Now statistic question. One of the highly asked questions on that statistic when I was earlier in the data science. Now they don't ask you a most question on the statistic. Now interview have advanced questions on generative AI and what tool you use and whatnot. Now, so what is the difference between the standard deviation and variance? So variance is the average of square difference from the mean, and standard deviation is the square root of the variance, same unit as the data and more interpreted. So variance is the average square difference from the mean. So this is the definition of that. And what is the p value? P value is the probability of observing your result if the null hypothesis is a true. So p value is less than 0.05 typically means you reject the null hypothesis. Okay, what is feature scaling and when it is needed? So standardization like z square, min max normalization, need for a distance based algorithm like knn, svm and k-mean. So basically they are a distance based algorithm. Likely they work on the uh, high dimensionality, and where if we have one feature which is having a value like 10,000, 20,000, and some other feature have the 1 2 3 up to 10. So because of having a high value in the one another feature, they might give you the wrong answer, or that feature will be important for them, and we cannot give that data to directly to distance based algorithm. If we give, it will take more complex, more time to do that computation, as well as it will give the bias on the resulting. So tree tree based model don't require it. One hot encoding is not a scaling method, it's a categorical encoding. So that answer is not right. Means that answer is right, but it is not necessary to add one hot encoding. So basically standardization and min max normalization is used. So basically we are just getting standardize our data. So for example, my data is starting from 100 to 10,000, and I just want to standardize. That means I just want that data to be 0 and 1 in the form of 0 and 1. So like from 0.011, we can just convert them from 0 to 1. So it will be the range of 0 to 1. Okay. And min max means it will use the range, and it will be compress that data into the that range only. Okay. Now general cloud or business scenario questions. So how do you have handle the real world data, missing data? So that kind of question is comes. So you can explore the missing patterns, like these are the technique MAR. These are advanced statistical method you can use the computation strategy like mean median mode or knn model based validation with the cross validation document approach. Depend on the your model or depend on your data, you can use the uh, techniques. Tell me about your project and what are the challenges. So you can use the star method. Situation, what is your problem, the task you have done, the action you have taken, and the result which make your. So if you go through this situation, so situation is like so for example, I'm in the company of insurance, and from the last decade, they are their customer are leaving their policy. So this is the one scenario where situation that people are leaving their policy, and because of that they are getting a loss in their business. So my task, what is my task, is to retain them, their whatever the policyholder are leaving, I want to retain them, I want to keep them with our policy. So what action I have done, I have gathered data, then I clean that data. What are the challenges I face? Where did I get that data? What are the tools I have used? What are the model I have used? And after that, what results I get? And by building this pipeline, what benefit my company get? Did I able to retain those customer? Out of 100, I'm able to retain 5, 10, 8, whatever. So that this is how you give your answer. Empathize data pipeline, model choice, matrix involvement, and business impact. This is how you give the answer. Which cloud platform you have worked with? So common expected answer is like AWS S3. It is a bucket storage in the cloud basically. SageMaker, it is from AWS, which service provide like models. It is a the model provided by AWS. EC2, it is a virtual environment that you can use. Now Azure have the ML Studio, basically same as the SageMaker. They have a ML Studio. Blob storage, basically same S3 bucket or the storage that available in the cloud. GCP BigQuery, we can write the queries over there and perform those query SQL query. Vertex AI, so basically same as the ML Studio and SageMaker. Now, quick reference and topic checklist. So priority wise, you should go with the ML algorithm, XGBoost, random forest, logistic regression. These are the highly asked model, and you should prepare every single uh, thing about it. And I'll say very high priority you will get question around it. Deep learning, transformer model or BART, very high chances you will get a question around it. The Python, like the libraries like pandas, numpy, oops related some questions will get very high priority. Next is SQL, and you'll get Windows function as I mentioned, and joins. So if you know Windows function and joins, you will able to crack those interview, and high chances you will get question around it. Now statistic and probability. Usually what happen in 2020 and 21, a statistic and probability is one of the highest question you'll ask on that those topic, because uh, data science was revolving around industry, and so that was the very uh, uh, important topic that time. Now it is in the mid, people will ask you less question because they know that you have that understanding. Then cloud related question depend on the position you are applying. Model evaluation metrics very high, because you know how to evaluate the model, then and then only you can answer the question related how your model is working, is it good, bad, or whatever the questions. Feature engineering, less question. So in the Infosys, my tip is interview are moderately difficult, not very difficult, but moderately. Sometimes it is difficult. Focus on ML fundamental, SQL, and being able to explain your past project clearly using the STAR method, which is what I have explained here. So start preparing. Best of luck to all of you. And if you like this video, share with friend who may need it. Subscribe to my channel. I'll upload such videos on such a content on my YouTube channel. Like, because it motivate me, it give motivate to create such a content. And comment if you have any question related to interviews or any topic you are not able to understand. I'll try to make a video on it. If you want, I can just give the content which I have. I'll just give you through mail or any other sources. And yeah, you can follow me on LinkedIn and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video.